I just saw a property for sale on Rightmove. I called up the agent trying to get a viewing, and they already had over 30 viewings and 2 offers in 48 hours. So how do you get around this? What does this mean for us property investors trying to buy properties right now? The market is so hot right now, I can't keep up. It isn't even just first-time buyers and family buyers trying to get the stamp duty and the cheap deposits, but it's also investors swarming into the market trying to get a piece of that passive income. I'm not sure what's going on, but all I know is it is tough to get good deals right now. And in this video, I'm going to break down what I'm doing and maybe a few tips on what you can do to bag these deals. I'm Simon. I've been in property for a few years now. I've developed 2 7-figure property businesses, one specializing in rent to rent, HMO and SA. And then what I do is I reinvest that money into my second business, which is building a portfolio. On this video, I'm going to be talking about purchases and how you can find these BRRRRs, where are the opportunities, and how can we get around this booming market. If you're brand new to me, there's over 50 videos of pure content, free content right here on YouTube. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and check out the rest of the channel. First of all, let's talk about what on earth's going on. Because, you know, there's COVID. We feel like, you know, people are going to have less money. There's been furloughs. People's jobs are insecure. So why are more people buying properties? I think, firstly, it's been because of all the government schemes and help to try and encourage, to try and prop up the property market. And we've been, you know, they've done the furloughs, they've done the very generous packages to help people out, self-employed people, businesses out. They've done 5% mortgages, they've done a stamp duty holiday. So all of these factors have enabled more and more people to buy properties and use this as a window. You've also got people with more disposable income because guess what? They've not been on a holiday for 2 years. They've not been doing stuff for 2 years. So they're now thinking, well, let's spend money on our houses or let's try and buy a house. And I think one of the biggest factors here has been the 5% mortgage for residential properties. This has been an absolute game changer. And interestingly, one thing that's really been driving the prices up is if you're looking to buy a property and normally you need to put 15% down, okay? And let's say the property is 200 grand, okay? All right, cool, I need to put 15% down. What's happening is as soon as the government have said you only need to put 5% down, we're going to open up lending, they're not still buying that house for 200 grand. They're going up. They're buying 250, 300, or worse still, they are overpaying for the same property because they have to put less down. In other words, if the property is 200 grand and normally the highest offer might have been 180, 185 and you could pick it up at 187, now you've got first time buyer that doesn't mind buying it for 210, 220, 230 because they're able to borrow more. So that's been a key factor. Why are there more investors in the market? I'm not sure. I'm really, really not sure if it's the uncertainty of the economy and people are realizing, you know, we need to hedge our bets and we need more property. I can't tell if it's because there's been a lot of investors that have got bounce back loans and they're being a bit naughty and buying properties or using, you know, business loans and stuff to buy properties. But one thing is for sure, property is an amazing asset class to be in. And it seems like a lot of investors are rushing into the market. One word of warning here is I think the smart money, rather than overpaying for properties right now, you might want to just hold back, get your bags together and ready, because if there is a correction, which there will be, you are more likely to get better deals. So what am I doing? Well, look, I've had quite a few developments over the last 12 months. I've done a few HMO projects where I've done, you know, quite decent refurbs and refinance and recycled. And I've currently got one going on at the moment, which has taken up quite a lot of my capital. So personally, I'm kind of hanging fire. However, even I'm aware that if you want to be into a property in 6 months, you need to be putting your offers in now because it's going to take a little while. But what I want to do is share a few strategies that I'm using now that you might be able to use to get moving right now. Because guess what? If you're holding a property for 20 years, it doesn't matter if you pay slightly over the odds because you're not going to sell. And I personally think if you've got two options, buy now or buy in a year when it corrects, I would buy now because what happens if it doesn't correct? The other thing is the rental income in the next year would probably make up for that, for the increase that you paid anyway. So thing number one, I'm looking off the market. So I'm communicating, I'm in my goldmine area, I'm asking if anybody's selling, okay? And one thing that's connected to this is my rent to rents. Obviously, I've got a lot of properties that I control and don't own. So it's always a good idea to have open conversations with your landlords to see if they are looking to sell, because you could be sat on purchases without doing anything. Number two, you've got to be quick and in with agents. I took my eye off the ball with this one called 48 Hours Later. That's because I've not been checking in with that agent enough. And that's because I've not had my Rightmove alerts correctly set, because I really should have been the first one, or better still, I should be working on my relationships with that agent so that they called me before they even put it on the market. And I have got a few agents that do that with me, and my last couple of deals have been through that basis. One was before it went on the market. One went on the market, sold, was about, it fell out of bed. Remember, 1 in every 3 purchases fall out of bed. Came back on the market and they let me see it before, and I put an offer in before it went back on the market. Okay, so get in with the agents. And number 3, you've got to be creative. So look into maybe new spaces, different types of properties that the market might have missed. Okay, maybe properties that you can't get a mortgage on, so you might be able to bridge or buy cash, less competitive. Another top tip at the moment is commercial to residential conversions, because as you can imagine, during COVID, a lot of shops have, they've been empty, and landlords want to get out the market because they've been empty. And I personally think there's a bit of a change in generation at the moment. There's a lot of old boys and girls that want to get out of it and be the new wealthy money. So if you're watching this video, you're into property, you're in the right place, and now is a great time, because over the next few years, there's going to be huge opportunities. Just make sure that you don't overpay and that you've got a bag, so if there's a correction, you're going to be able to pounce. So to conclude, how do you get a deal in today's market? Look, it's going to be a little bit tough. It is going to be tough, but implement those 3 strategies and remember, okay, not only has the market boomed in terms of where you're purchasing it, but it's also booming in terms of where you're going to refinance it. So it works 2 ways. If you pay an extra 20 grand, but then you get an extra 50 grand or 20 grand on the refinance, then it levels itself out. But what you definitely don't want to do not do this, is don't be sat on money earning 0.00001 in the bank and not buying property because you're waiting for it to drop 10%, because your money is depreciating in the bank, you're not getting the cash flow, you're not getting in the market, and before you know it, money in your bank goes one way, it goes to 0, because you'll find some way to spend it and you will miss a massive opportunity. So, hope you found this video useful. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, and remember, whatever you do, don't wait 25 years. Get creative today.